Well, I think it starts out basically with the fact that in 1914 we placed it under the taxing clause of the Constitution, rather than going for a constitutional change and perhaps handle it the way that it should have been handled. A tax was placed on the drugs, and then police-type laws built around that, rather than to enact special laws that would just simply control narcotic laws, but in a police-type way. This started out, of course, as a sort of legal deceit, and we've carried it on year after year and year after year without really placing a more effective system of control over it.
Is this why you call it a bluff?
Well, not really. What has happened is that we started out with extremely stringent penalties in 1956, hoping that that would do something to really control the drug traffic. I think most of us have seen since that time that it didn't work. There's a lot of disrespect for the laws because we know that they are being enforced selectively. We know that they're being prosecuted selectively. We know that the judges in many cases are twisting and turning to find some way of getting around the so-called mandatory penalties. And for that reason, I maintain that they are becoming nothing but a bluff. And whenever laws become nothing but a bluff, they lose all of their respect and they're no longer effective.
Regardless of the final disposition of this brick building, it will remain a symbol of the assassination of the 35th President of the United States. The 6th floor has been dark and empty since 1963, but today Channel 8 news cameras were allowed to probe the musty interior. In recent years, only loading pallets have been stored here. The view from the corner window has changed little in 7 years. Dallas oilman Colonel D. Harold Byrd, principal owner of the building, has had many offers to capitalize on the assassination, but has steadfastly refused to sell the structure until now. We asked him why he decided to sell the building.
Well, on the 24th of this month, that's just a few days off now, I'll be 70. And I've worked pretty hard all of my life, and what little I've saved up, and acquired, I'd like to take it a little easier from now on and spend a little more time fishing. I'm diversified in a lot of different things, and I'm selling some of my real estate right now. I would like to see it put to some commercial use rather than to monument. I don't care anything about capitalizing on this tragedy, because Dallas is a good place to live and lovely people, and I don't like to have them associated with that tragedy is more impossible.
Some would like to see it become a museum. Others would like to see it become a commercial building. And still others would like to tear it down and sell it brick by brick. Regardless of what is finally done with this building, it will always remain a symbol of the assassination. This is Art Sinclair for Channel 8 News.
What do you plan on doing with the depository building, sir?
I don't have any idea.
Is it your thought at this point that you will possibly make a shrine or memorial out of it?
I don't think so. That was not the intention of buying it.
What is the intention?
Commercial use or non-commercial?
I don't have any idea. That's true.
Any feelings right now?
No. The people in there can't even get them out for a year.
No inclinations?
No.
Is it totally up to you? You are the principal owner of the building. You're not representing someone else?
No.
What is your business, sir?
Sell it again?
I'm a business executive.
What sort of business, sir?
Music business.
Could you be more specific and tell us the name of your company and what sort of music it specializes in, or what aspect of the music business?
I'm a division head for Certron Corporation in Anaheim, California.
To help solve the immediate problem, and this is one thing that we have to pay attention to. We have a lot of long-range programs in the mill that will take time to develop, but as far as the problem at hand is concerned, I think we have to drive very hard at the sources of drugs, whether those sources are in this country or whether they're outside of the United States. And this means gaining better controls, for example, over the pharmaceutical manufacturing firms within the United States, which present pending federal legislation will do. Outside of the United States, it means negotiating with foreign governments in an effort, at least the governments of those countries which represent sources of drugs for this country, to bring about stricter controls over the sources of the substance that is causing us problems.
One of the most exciting things about a political campaign is the variety of things the candidate and his staff have to do. We followed Lloyd Bentsen before. You've been with us as we went to McAllen, Reynosa, down in the lower Rio Grande Valley. He believes his strength is in South Texas, and he's concentrating a lot of effort here. As you can recognize, that's the Alamo behind me. Directly across Bonham Street in front of me now is the Crockett Hotel. That's where Bentsen is getting in some of that variety. He talked to the San Antonio Jaycees at a noon luncheon today.
And when I get along the borders of Texas and I look at my Mexican-American friends, I don't really look at people as Mexican-Americans or Anglo-Americans or bilingual Americans or hyphenated Americans. I look at men who are Americans who have fought, bled, and died for this country. And when I see groups who want to unite a race to fight against other people, who want to pit one race against another, I basically disagree with this. I think this is wrong. I think this tears apart our people, and this wasn't what our great country was built on. I want to go up there to represent all of the people of this state. I don't want to go up there just to represent the whites, just to represent the blacks, just to represent the professional man, just to represent the laboring man. I want to try to represent all of the people of this state. I think that's the obligation, and I think that's the job of a concerned United States senator. And that's the kind of representation I would give.